All right, guys, we brought you NBA building blocks for the DFS side of tonight's two-game NBA playoff slate. And now we're going to talk best bets. And here to help us out, DraftKings contributors Kenny Ducey and Stan Sun. Kenny, will Philadelphia cover -5.5 against Atlanta?
I think they will. Emerson. You can get this line. I mean, this line is really fluctuating, so I'm not really sure if I'm ready to bet it yet. I'm going to wait on Joel Embiid's status before pulling the trigger. But here's the thing. You know, the Philadelphia 76ers have a season-long track record of playing good defense, taking care of the basketball, and rebounding. They didn't do that for one whole half. And then the second half against the Hawks, they played exceptional defense. The Hawks shot 29.2% from the field, or from three rather. And the thing is, we saw the Hawks against the Knicks. They have the tendency to go very cold. They can get as hot as any team in the league, and then they can get as cold as any team in the league. So I think that when you're looking at the Atlanta Hawks, we just have to treat this like a situation where they're going to have some big runs, but in the end, the Sixers defense should win out. I think that at home, where they've covered a lot this year, they cover once again tonight.
Okay, like tap your camera or something and try to refocus it because you're a little soft, a little blurry here. While you try to do that, Stan, why don't you tell us if Philadelphia covers tonight? What do you think?
Yeah, this is usually a spot where I go right back, to the home team. But I've been really impressed, with Atlanta. So I'm going to take the points here. It was at 5.5 last night. I see it at 6. So like Kenny said, it has been fluctuating. Joel Embiid news is definitely a huge part of this. But, since Nate McMillan has taken over, the Hawks are 30-11, including the playoffs. 2 of those losses were to Philly, but Bogdan Bogdanovic and Kevin Huerter were both out while Trae Young missed one of those games. In the playoffs, Atlanta, they do have the third best defensive efficiency. They turn the ball over only 11.8 times per game, and they're converting 85% of their free throws. Philly, I believe, is like 68%. Over the last 10 games, the Hawks are 7-3 against the spread, and Philly is 5-5. So, give me the bow, yippee-yo, yippee-yay dog here.
Oh, I love that from you, Stan. I love this for us. Hey, will the Clippers cover +4 at Utah, Stan?
It's a tough one because a lot of it depends on the health of Mike Conley. With that said, the hamstring injury did seem relatively minor. He's had about a week of rest, so I'm assuming that he's going to go here. In addition, Serge Ibaka is out. He played in, the 3 regular season meetings that they had. That means that Ibaka Zubac will be dusted off for this one. I think Rudy Gobert can get busy on him. The Jazz, they were 31-5 at home during the regular season. That's tops in the league. They did lose game 1 at home to Memphis to start the playoffs, but, they took care of business the next 4 games. I think that game 1 loss was actually pretty beneficial for them because it's going to provide them, a certain awareness that, it's playoff time, right? So they're going to have to bring it. Utah, they did have the 3rd best defensive rating in the league. I think what tilts this game in the series is the fact that the Clippers, they've allowed 24 attempts from beyond the arc and allowed a 38.7% conversion rate. Utah, they shot 25.2 shots from downtown and converted 38.9% of those shots. So both of those marks were top 5 in the playoffs. Give me Utah at home here.
Kenny, Clippers covering +4 at Utah?
I'm in focus now, but my audio might be a little difficult.
Nope, you sound and look good.
Okay, good. Well, there's someone behind me that's making a lot of noise. Look, I really do think that this stands wrong here. The Clippers, they played a very, very solid series on offense against the Dallas Mavericks, and their defense was phenomenal, except for the first 2 games where the Mavericks just shot over 50% from 3. What are you going to do, right? The Jazz, you can look at their season, Stan. You can say, hey, the Jazz, they played great defense all year long. They relied on that defense. What did they do against a pretty mediocre Grizzlies offense? They allowed 115 points per 100 possessions. I hate the way that the Jazz are playing defense right now. They covered a lot against the Grizzlies in that series, every game with Donovan Mitchell. But if you watch that series, the Grizzlies played them very closely. The Grizzlies were in every single game. They made huge runs at Utah. Utah would answer back with some timely threes. This Clippers defense is better than that Grizzlies defense. They also have a guy named Kawhi Leonard that they can put on anybody at any time, and he can lock them down from distance. I do think that the Utah Jazz cool off a little bit on offense, and I think that they could take a punch in the mouth here before settling into this series. They have the game. They have the team built to beat the Clippers, but right now they're going to take a huge step up in competitive level, and I just don't think they're going to be ready for it. So I love the points here. I think this is basically a pick 'em game. Getting 5 points, 4 points, whatever it is, that's outrageous, Emerson.
All right, gentlemen, I need you to pick up the pace as we're running tight on time once again. Kenny, which game total would you bet on?
I would probably take this under in the Clippers game. I think that the Utah Jazz are going to be due for a lot of regression here. I'm scared about the Sixers-Hawks game because that pace was ridiculous at 107, but I think there's so much unpredictability there. You don't know if Embiid's going to play. You don't know if Atlanta's going to push the pace again. I think the safe bet here is the under in Utah and LA. Both teams should play grinded out basketball here. Utah's defense, they let them down in game one, but perhaps they show up here. And I just think in general, both these teams played a pretty slow pace. So give me the under.
Stan, game total you like tonight?
Yeah, I'm agree with Kenny here. I do like the under here. The Clippers, they're like 29th in pace during the regular season. Like you said, the first game, I think it's going to be a grinding out affair. Give me the under on this game.
And then Stan, bring us home quickly. Your favorite prop bet?
Yeah, Danny Green over 2.5 threes plus 140. I don't know much in this world. Kenny can allude to that, but I do know this. Whenever Green plays terribly, starts getting trashed on social media, he always ends up balling the next game, and he re-enters the hearts and minds of fans everywhere. During the season, he drained at least 3 trays in 37 games this season.
Kenny, speed it up. Last one.
Still think it's too low. Kawhi Leonard over 27.5 points and -113 at the DraftKings Sportsbook. He had 31.2 in the last series against the Mavericks. His usage rate is through the roof right now, shooting 61.2%. One of his best playoff series ever. He's coming off. I think he continues rolling here and shatters this.